Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Well. I spy with my little eye. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gents. Okay, listen. I had a long day. it's been a very long day. Essentially, I was out, so I did not get to watch Clash in Paris when it originally aired, but I was able to catch it in the replay, which we love that. And it was a good show. We're going to talk about it. We're going to keep it short and sweet, I promise. Not going to, drag things out. But we are going to talk about it. Because it bears conversation, as they say. So, the first match of the night was Roman Reigns facing off against none other than Bronson Reed. All right, hold on. I'm just getting my infographics together so you guys can see what I see. So hold tight. Apologies if I'm not prepared. I'm tired. Okay, I've been up since 8 o'clock this morning. It has been a long day. Okay. Roman Reigns faced off against Bronson Reed. It's a pretty big matchup for the two of them. It was long. Roman's entrance alone, the beginning of the show, Bronson Reed's entrance, that was 15 minutes. Okay? I watched it. It was 15 minutes long. They finally had their match, which was another 10 to 15 minutes, give or take. It's pretty long, but that segment lasted even longer because towards the end of the match, Roman Reigns he won, he got his shoes back, he put Pauline in a guillotine, which was pretty fucking cool. And then Roman Reigns got brutally speared by Braun Breaker, not once, but twice. And then he got tsunami'd 3 times, and then one more for good measure while he was strapped to a gurney. So it looks like Roman Reigns is going to be out for a significant amount of time. Bare minimum, I say he'll be gone for about 2 weeks. I think he'll be gone for about 2 weeks. Now, Jey Uso obviously was not going to let his big cuz get beat down like that without giving some type of a fight. So he came out there in spite of him having a world championship match tonight. He came out there to defend his cousin, and he also suffered a beatdown via Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Now, this would be considered overkill if Bronson Reed didn't fucking lose the match. Bronson Reed lost. So, of course, Paul Heyman was pissed. And he asked him, he was just repeatedly asking him, like, how could you lose? How could you let this happen? And that's how Paul Heyman ended up getting taken out. Now, Braun Breaker essentially was having a little bit of a psychotic break, if you will. And he didn't like the fact that Roman Reigns was signing shoes and tossing them in the crowd. And he didn't like the fact that his oracle was laid out by Roman Reigns himself. So, of course, he had to retaliate. And he made a very good point to tell Roman Reigns that he no longer was needed or wanted and that this was his ring now and he needed to leave and never come back. Because if he did, he was going to continue to assault him at every chance that he got. And of course, that is just what they did. That shit lasted nearly an hour as a whole. It was a very long segment. It was about 30 minutes from the start of Roman's match to the end of that segment. It was about 30 minutes of the show. Now, Adam Pearce has grown a pair in these last couple of years, and Adam Pearce told both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker that they had to leave that arena, and if they brought their asses back there, he was going to suspend them indefinitely without pay. And he said, "Enjoy Gay Petty." And it was like, "We run this show." He was like, "You can leave." I said, "Yes, Adam. Assert yourself. Assert yourself." I'm I'm gonna help you out, Nicole, so you don't have to watch it. A few things I feel like you should skip. Um, this segment I do think was entertaining. I won't lie and say it wasn't entertaining. I enjoyed it. I think if I had to give this match a rating, I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I thought that they did really well. I think Bronson Reed works well with just about everybody he wrestles. And no matter who he goes up against, they either look extremely well or he always shines well, which is a telltale of his ability and what he's capable of. I've always known Bronson Reed was a great potential superstar and a great potential champion because I saw what he was capable of in NXT and it pissed me off so bad that they fired him. But I am so glad that they brought him back because now he gets to be able to do what he's always wanted to do and he gets to do it on a grand scale, which in my opinion is just desserts for Bronson Reed. So I'm glad he's getting big matches on major PLEs, and I'm glad that he was able to show out this PLE. I just wish that they would have gave him the W. I'm not saying that nothing that they did afterwards made any sense, but I feel like it would have been like I beat you and now I'm taking you out. Do you get what I mean? Like, do you understand what I'm saying, babe? Like, it's like a final nail in the coffin, right?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go. Like, you're no longer a tribal chief to us. You're no longer a tribal chief here. And I beat you 1, 2, 3, and I put your ass in the hospital. But that's not what happened. Essentially, Roman Reigns won that match clean with no interference from Braun Breaker. And then as he took out Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed was already out, he ended up getting speared by Braun Breaker. And this led to a series of events where Roman Reigns was carted out in an ambulance. They say Pauline's ass went to the hospital, but I don't think his big ass went nowhere. And Jay Uso rode with him. Now, throughout the night, they gave you many updates about Roman Reigns, and essentially it was just that he was at the hospital and then he checked himself out. Which, sure. Love that for you, babes. If that's what you can do for yourself, then so be it. Okay. Next match on the card, I believe, was it the tag team championships after that?
Yeah, it was actually.
Okay. Tag team championships. Try. Can you go help him, please? He's asking him for this cord. Hold on, y'all.
Still don't know my words, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't
Sorry about that. Tag team championship match. This match was a little weird. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the beginning, the Street Profits came out. They seemed to be on the same page. But it was when the start of the match began that the two of them began to fight over who was going to start. Dawkins wanted to start and was adamant that he should be the one to start. And he did start. But Dawkins ended up tagging out immediately when Montez did a hard tag on him. This was interesting because it didn't really do anything. And I know that this could possibly lead to the Street Profits going their separate ways, which, to be honest, I don't have a problem with. I just don't feel like that they should fight to go their separate ways. I feel like if you could let, Briggs and Jensen break up amicably along with Fallon, then you can let the Street Profits go their separate ways on their own as well. My biggest issue with this was that this dissension started back at SmackDown on Friday when it came to more specifically Bo Dallas at the time. He essentially was like, if you guys lose, is he still going to be your brother? And basically what he asked him is, are you your brother's keeper? And there was no answer from either of them. They just kind of stared at each other. And then we see this dissension between the two guys today. And BFAB is standing out on the outside. And she's just like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is a championship match. Like, get it together. Let's go. Eventually, the two of them do get it together. And they put on a pretty stellar match against the Wyatt Six. And they almost had those titles won. But they weren't able to combat against Nikki Cross, Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy, and Eric Rowan. It was essentially a 2-on-6 fight, and they just couldn't best them. And unfortunately for the Street Profits, this is their second time. This is technically their rematch for the championship. So they more than likely will be at the back of the line for those titles from here on out. And if you ask me, splitting them up deepens the roster at this point. You got Montez Ford, who is easily a world heavyweight championship contender, definitely a U.S. champion contender. Dawkins is also a U.S. champion contender. And if we see some persona from him, he more than likely could be a world heavyweight championship contender as well. It adds more depth to the singles competition, and there's no need for them to stay in the tag team division if they aren't going to get title shots anytime soon. So while I'm sad that the Street Profits are more than likely going to break up, I am excited to see how it plays out. And I hope that Triple H and the rest of them really utilize them in this singles division, whether it be heel or face, because both of them are commodities and will do great as single players. BFAB, she deepens the division in terms of the mid card. And if she proves herself in that mid card, she can be a title holder as well. If Tiffany Stratton can hold that championship, then so can women like Michin, Zelina Vega, and BFAB. I'm just saying. You're gonna go film that movie they all cast in. Yeah. Hello. The next match, I believe, wasn't it Becky? It was Becky's match with Nikki Bella. This match wasn't bad. It was pretty decent. The two of them went at it, and Nikki Bella had a good showing in this match against Becky Lynch. I'm not gonna lie and sugarcoat anything. I just generally wasn't interested in the two of them fighting, but I will say that they had a pretty entertaining match. This match specifically, Nicole, I do think you should watch because I think you would enjoy it more than I would. Ultimately, though, Becky got the win. Becky ended up doing a pin that they call the Lynch pin, which is her pin. It's the same pin she used at SummerSlam, same pin she used prior to SummerSlam at the last PLE she had with Lyra and Bailey. Same pin. She's been using it in every match. That roll-up pin So that's how she won. But they were battling. It wasn't just a brawl on Nikki's part or a brawl on Becky's part. It was equally yoked on both sides. I just don't care for Nikki Bella. But she did fine. She did fine. Let's move into the Donnybrook fight. I mean, it was okay. This match I do think you can skip, but if you want to see some hard hitting fighting and you want to really watch two big men going at it and it be as intense as possible, then I highly recommend that you watch it. All in all, Sheamus lost this match. Rusev ended up winning, which I hated that for Sheamus because I'm just like, ugh. I hate that for Sheamus because I think the last couple of Donnybrook fights he's lost. I think he had one against Pete Dunne that he won.
Yeah.
I don't think he's won anything. I don't think he's won any of them except for that one against Pete. He lost the one he had. I think it was against Jeff Hardy when Jeff Hardy was still wrestling there. I don't remember, but he lost this match because he tapped. He tapped out, which I thought he should have just passed out. Like all this bravado you guys keep touting and having bangers, and I'm just like, why tap? Just let him pass out and it be done. You know what I'm saying? Like it's over. They did Big E proud, just two meaty men. I'm sure Big E was lighting up the backstage post show when they talked about it. But yeah, this match it was a good match. If that's you like that, the brawlers in the fight. If you like that style of match, it was a good match. I'm going to tell you which match went on entirely too long. John Cena up against Logan Paul was ridiculously long, unnecessarily long. They kicked out of everything that they had, every single maneuver that they did. Both of them kicked out of everything. This match was long as hell. It was so infuriatingly long. It was frustrating to watch. And while I understand that they were trying to give John Cena a big send off in Paris, it didn't have to be this freaking long. It was so long. Now, I have never denied Logan Paul's ability or what he was capable of. I have never, ever said that man is not a great wrestler. He is. He's an excellent wrestler. That has never been in question. What is in question is his integrity. What is in question is his character work. It sucks. But he put on a great match today against John Cena. They both did. It just was too fucking long. It was too long. It was so unnecessary. And I'm just like, maybe I was just exhausted from the day. But this match was too long for me. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think that it was a good match. It just was entirely too long. Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch's match, I'd give it a 7.9 out of 10. I think the women did great. I just personally wasn't interested, so I knocked it down to a 7.9. As far as the tag team match goes, I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think the guys did great in this match. I just hate that the Wyatt Six ran that much interference in their match for them to retain the titles. I know that they're supposed to be a heel team. They're operating like one, where they're more like they pretty much go with the flow. You know what I mean? They're more like in the middle. They're centralists, if that makes sense. I just wish that Joe Gacy and Dexter would have just beaten the Street Profits on their own. They're capable of doing it, and I just felt like that would have been their send off, the nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? And as far as the Donnybrook fight is concerned, I give it a 6.8 out of 10. It was a good match, but we've seen Rusev and Sheamus fight so many fucking times. And I feel like this would have been a good match to have on Monday Night Raw, especially for like the middle of the show. It could have revigorated the crowd and really given you some zhuzh, But what else? And now we're in the final throws because in the last match of the night, it was the Fatal 4-Way. Now, Jey Uso made it back in time to battle for the championship, and everybody was doing their part. It was a good fight. I love this match. I thought that everybody pulled out all the stops. Everybody was every man for themselves. They ganged up on Seth and beat the hell out of him. CM Punk went through a table. There was just a lot. LA Knight jumped and fell through a table trying to elbow drop on Seth freaking Rollins. And then Seth told CM Punk to his face, I hate you. I never want you to touch this world title again. You will never get another title in this company as long as I'm here. And I want you to go away. And then he proceeded to try to curb stomp him through a chair. Now, prior to this, Jey Uso was already on the outside, injured ribs and all, beaten up, and he curb stomped Jey Uso. So was LA Knight, still trying to recover from going through that table, curb stomped on the table debris, out. So there was no protection to stop whatever was about to happen in the last 2 minutes of this match. As he set up that chair and gave this little promo speech, of course, CM Punk was able to thwart it, and this looked like it was about to be shades of the past. Monday Night Raw, January 6th, CM Punk super kicked Seth Rollins, and then he rolled into a GTS because he fell on him, and he was able to hit the GTS. CM Punk took just a little bit too long, and I realized there's an ace in the hole here. If you know Seth Rollins, you know that man always has a plan. He has been the architect before. And because of that, you, as competitors, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight, should have prepared for whatever secondary onslaught he was going to provide. And he definitely provided it. Now, it could have been anybody, but that anybody was his wife, Becky Lynch. Becky came in the match, low blowed CM Punk. CM Punk was then curb stomped, and the match was over. 1, 2, 3. Seth freaking Rollins retains his championship, and the couple that rules the WWE has now stood tall above everybody. And basically, it's Becky Lynch standing there looking like a toothpick, hollering and screaming like the woman's stick figure on the women's bathroom about them running the industry. And then they made out in the ring, which was gross. I'm not the biggest fan of PDA. I hate it. I don't hate that you have it. I hate that I have to look at it. I don't want to see it. I'm very uncomfortable watching other people have their moments, and I hate it. That makes me a hater, then so be it. But technically, I was married before both of them, so I'm not hating on either one of them. I can give less of a fuck about them being married. I just don't like to see other people make it out. It makes me feel like I'm a part of something that I don't want to be a part of. That's not my business. Like, let me leave. Can I leave? I really hate it. If I had to give this match a rating, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Now, where this is going to go, I don't know. But if it were me and I was booking this, you better believe that I would be calling AJ Lee to return to the WWE so this can be a mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza. Why? Because this is their first fucking PLE on ESPN. And if you don't go balls to the wall to draw in the views, you're insane. Okay? They gotta go balls to the wall. If AJ Lee returns and shows up, all hell's gonna break loose. Do you understand me? Those diva stands that have been begging and waiting for her to come back, they will get their damn subscriptions today. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're not going to miss that. They're not going to miss that woman returning. Now, if AJ Lee doesn't come back and she decides like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. I enjoy my peace, which more power to you, bitch, because I could never have the strength to do what y'all do. I respect y'all profession more than you know, okay? Because there is no way that as a grown woman, I'm going to willingly slam my back on a mat full of springs and cheap plywood. Absolutely not. I refuse. So if you say no, thank you, I'm gonna let y'all have this one. Great. Now there are a couple people that could take her place. You could still have Nikki Bella be the one to headline in that match because it would make sense. She basically just got, rolled up pinned in a match that she was dominating for the better part of it. And she was doing pretty damn good in. So it would have been it'd be pretty obvious to have her do it. Or you can go a little bit off the map and then go to Bailey if you wanted to. Or you can call Lyra, whichever one works for you. Lyra is going to be the least draw of all three of them, if you ask me. And I like what Bailey's doing right now. So I kind of want to see where that's going. So the only other plausible person that could team with CM Punk to go up against Becky is Nikki Bella. And y'all know that pains me to say that. But it's the truth. However, I would be calling AJ Lee right now. Yeah, yeah. Nicole said I could smell them raggedy sneakers a mile away. The way that this was set up, she got to be coming back. She has to be. There's no way that she can't. Because at this point, girl, you would leave your husband to the devices of fucking, and this is no shade to Becky, but Becky was in there just holler. When I tell you that she was hollering and screaming like the biggest wrestling mark you can find, we run this division. Yeah, we run this division. I'm like, damn, like, do you got any swag, bitch? Like, sis, where is the swag? It was giving pick me white woman, and I was so turned off. I was so turned off, honey. Jake called one of them cousins he got. As much as I love me, I know we family, I just don't see that happening either. I'm telling y'all, that lady is coming back. And she's going to retire for real and go in the Hall of Fame. And she's been training. That lady is coming. When I get that feeling, that shit happens. Yeah, that's true, Nicole. You're right. She lost her aura. Who lost their aura? I want knee-high Converses and all. Child, I'm telling you. From what we just saw, that's happening. I'm so sick to my stomach, girl. It's happening, babe. You might as well just take you some Alka-Seltzer and call it a night, boo. Because it's happening. Now, overall, to give this show an overall rating, I will say Clash in Paris was a solid show. I give it an 8.7 out of 10. I think for what it needed to do, it did do that. All of the matches were fairly solid. I was nitpicking at a lot of them, and a lot of them I was just personally disinterested in. But that doesn't mean they weren't good matches and they didn't have good showings. They were great matches on the card. And they had really good setups. They had really good setups for continuing the feuds. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. But some of the matches could have been shorter. And I felt like they could have had another women's match on this card. And they're not doing enough to build up the women's division on SmackDown. In my opinion, they're letting it kind of fall to the wayside. Like, we have not seen Tiffany Stratton defend that championship or even wrestle on TV since SummerSlam, which to me is problematic. Well, she had that tag team match with Jade Cargill, so that's not true. She had a tag team match with Jade Cargill going up against Becky and fucking Nia Jax. If you want to count that, sure. But like, it's just so much going on. And it's like, damn. It's like, like the women's division used to pop, you know what I'm saying? And now it just seems like a dead fish. And I need them to fix that. I need them to fix that for sure. Now, of course, Monday, Seth is gonna come into the building and be fucking bragging his ass off, because prior to this match happening, Seth Rollins made it a point to say he doesn't need anybody. He never needed anyone to win championships. He's always done it by himself, and he'll continue to do it by himself. Clearly, he's a liar. Clearly, you're a liar, babe, because not only did you need somebody, you needed your wife. Oh, that kind of makes you a pussy, babe. Just saying. Your wife had to come in and low blow your opponent till you didn't lose. I don't know about you, but that doesn't look like a champion to me. That looks like somebody who's desperate to continue to win, which is very, very accurate. That's very much where we're at with you. But go off, sis. Whatever makes you happy. Okay, let's see. Nicole said that Diva Men's champ wife. I was talking about Becky. Yeah. I would be ecstatic if she comes back tomorrow for the last night in Paris. That'd be quite the move if she was to come back tomorrow. If she come back, that sale merch is going to be insane. Sure. I won't be buying it, but it's no shade to AJ Lee, but AJ Lee was cool when she was there. She didn't really do anything for me other than be completely unhinged towards Caitlyn. I ain't gonna never forgive her for catfishing that girl like that. Never forgive her for that. She's auralist now. Yeah. That baby sucked it out of her to feed her aura. It's like AHS Coven, and she's the old Supreme losing her bad bitch powers, and the new Supreme is on the loading screen. No, for real. That is so crazy you compared it to that, because when you think about her and Lyra, that is exactly what that is. Kudos, Nicole, for the callback to Coven. Oh my God, I never would have thought of that. But that is exactly what that is. Nicole deserves an applaud for that. Like, that was fucking good. That was a good callback. That was a good comparison. Wow. Yeah. Give her all the sounds. No, for real. Think about it. She would be the new Supreme. Just imagine her skipping her ass out there with that crazy ass smile. Not her best. Not Lyra, the new Supreme. It definitely is. We got to have her do the 7 wonders ASAP, period. She said, thank you. My best work. Yeah, that is a good comparison. I would have never thought of that. And that was the only season of American Horror Story that I actually enjoyed watching and wasn't afraid to watch, because I was in love with Marie Laveau. And I was like, oh, I love her braids. And she was such a bad bitch. I loved her. Oh, she was cussing that man out. Then that man came in there and shot everybody up. Child, killed everybody in Marie Laveau's camp. If y'all haven't seen American Horror Story Coven, to me, that is the best season of that anthology. It is so good. It was so well written. I don't know who wrote that, but whoever did, they need to ask it ASAP. They did amazing things with it. All I remember was AJ Lee versus the world, starting with the Total Divas. I also found it weird that AJ had Caitlyn on her time for Survivor Series, knowing they were on her team for Survivor Series, knowing they were enemies. Okay, so when it comes to AJ Lee, personally, I thought that she was I didn't think that AJ Lee was that good of a wrestler. And that's not even me trying to be disrespectful or out of line. I just didn't think that she was that good of a wrestler. Um, I think what set AJ Lee apart is that she wasn't like the other girls, and she kind of was the start of that anti diva style that really went over. AJ Lee was conventionally pretty, um, but she was a nerd. You know, she was a dork, as they would put it, and she enjoyed what all the other guys enjoyed, and that really gave guys a liking to her, and a lot of women really resonated with AJ Lee because she was smaller, but she just had a way, and her in-ring style was a little unorthodox for me, but it wasn't bad. She just wasn't as great as everybody's touting her to be. I think what happened with AJ Lee is that she came into an era of women's wrestling that was very diva based, so because of that, and AJ Lee was a little bit more wrestling forward, she was able to stand out in the pack. I guarantee you, if she was able to come out in this era of wrestling, things would be a little bit different. I don't think she would be at the top of the class. In my opinion, the promo that she cut on the women was very, very harsh. At the time when I heard it, I didn't know anything about backstage. I didn't know anything about any of that. So when you're watching it, you just watch it for what it is and you believe it because you're watching it. And as an adult, I think that she was out of line for what she said, especially to all of the women who were on Total Divas, because say what you want to about Nikki Bella, and trust me, I've said a lot, so this is not coming from a place of malice. When Total Divas came out, it changed the game for the women in the division because it allowed them to have their own spotlight without having to compete with the men. Then, because of that, this bolstered the women's division and it allowed them to be seen. So, whether you love or hate the Bellas in any way, shape, or form, and you don't have to like them, I don't like them, but I can give just due where it's due. You know what I'm saying? They found another way to be seen, and they did. They were. So it was smart because at that time, reality TV was booming. Okay. All of us watched reality TV. We birthed reality TV. Okay. Without our generation, reality TV wouldn't be shit right now. Love Island would be nothing without our generation. Okay. Because without the fucking love, the Flavor Flavs, the love of Flavor Flav, or what is it called?
Flavor of Love.
Flavor of Love. Without the Brett Michaels show, I Love New York. Without them shows, The Bachelor, Temptation Island, the original version. Okay. Um, without OG shows like To Tell the Truth. Y'all remember fucking To Tell the Truth, bitch. Without that shit, these reality shows wouldn't be going nowhere. They wouldn't be doing nothing. But the Bellas caught it right at the cusp of reality TV shifting. They were right there around the time that Real Housewives was booming. It had taken off. They had so many fucking franchises from Atlanta, New York, OC, DC, Utah now. They had Vancouver. They had one in London at one point. They had Miami. They had Potomac, which was in DC. They had so many different versions of the Real Housewives that people just could not keep up. You know what I'm saying? And they were on the edge of that right when the turn was coming. Love and Hip Hop was just getting ready to blow up too. So they were there. They were all in there together. It was hella, hella smart. So I don't have no issues with them on that front. But AJ Lee didn't like the fact that they were reality TV girls and focusing on that as well as their wrestling. To be fair, they weren't getting TV time, so why not focus on the reality TV shit? Okay, either way, they get a check. Some of them hoes got two because they was working two jobs. You leaving a show doing wrestling stuff, and then y'all have to film Total Divas, and y'all gotta do, and the show set up just like any other 5 or 6 woman cast. They are doing their regular everyday stuff. They're meeting up for lunch, talking about stuff. They're talking backstage, and then they go on a trip together. They plan that big trip together and go on a trip, and something weird happens. Everybody end up fighting, right? And then they come back and they talk about it, and then next season they talk about it's the same formula, different toilet. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? She said Roanoke to me is the best one out of all the AHS. It was so unique and interesting, and I actually got scared once everything is flipped. I didn't watch that because I knew it was going to scare me. I like Coven because it was easy for me to digest. But not only that, but it was just a really good show. And I liked how each witch had their own thing. I liked the storyline of it, especially with the Supreme losing her powers. I like Marie Laveau and everything she had going on. Like, I really enjoyed that story. And the fact that they buried that motherfucking Kathy Bates plays such an angry, vile racist woman. I was so glad they got her ass together. I was so glad. Loved it. It was chef's kiss. They act like she was wrestling out here like Beth Phoenix. And that's the biggest problem. Because during that time, Beth, Natalia, who else was in that class of girls? Because if we being honest, wrestling wise, Beth and Natalia was the T. Beth and Natalia were the tea, honey. And they did not get this respect that they rightfully deserved. When she's at Britt Baker, when she's at a Britt Baker, when Britt actually remembered how to wrestle, ooh, baby. Paige was leagues ahead of her in ring wise, too. Well, Rock of Love, that's the name of it. It was Rock of Love with Bret Michaels. Man, that's when E had that Playboy reality TV show too. Oh yeah, it was Heidi. It was Heidi and something. We had so much tea from Total Divas. That's why we really fell in love with Naomi and Big Jim. I always loved them. I didn't see Total Divas. I got it in clips and what y'all tell me. I didn't watch the show intentionally. I didn't watch it. Yeah, it was Girls Next Door. That's what it was. Nicole is on her shit today. Oh my God. Give Nicole her 10s across the board, okay? I always tell people to watch Roanoke because that twist is so tier. I'm just scared of being scared. I don't want to be scared. I don't like the feeling of being scared, and I don't understand why people enjoy it, but I can't do it. That's one of my comfort shows. I rewatched it the other month. I just don't watch Total Divas. It's not gonna change how I feel about people, but at the time I did feel that way, so I stopped watching it because it just wasn't something that I wanted to see. It doesn't mean I didn't want it to exist. I was happy the girls had it. I just didn't care to watch it. Holly was cute and normal. For Girls Next Door, yeah. But we got a lot of tea out of Clash in Paris. So, Girls Next Door. Girls Next Door is one of your comfort shows. That's interesting. I didn't watch Girls Next Door. Only because I didn't want to, I thought it was going to detail their relationship with Hugh Hefner. And I just felt some type of way about it. So I steered clear of that. I started watching WWE again because of Total Divas. See? I ain't mad at that. Right, Kayla. Right. But to go back to Clash in Paris, there were some things that were set up for Clash in Paris. Okay. Now, Monday Night Raw, there is a match that is already set in stone and guaranteed to happen. AJ Styles is supposed to face off against Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. If he wins, I have a sneaking suspicion that Rusev is more than likely going to be his first number one contender. Secondly, I know that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are going to be coming out there bragging their asses off, of course, with their wonderful vision in tow, because it seems like Becky Lynch has joined the vision, and she is now a part of the conglomerate. Okay. Now, LA Knight and Jey Uso are out of the running for the championship. That is done. I don't know where they're going to go with them, but I imagine that Jey Uso is going to stick by his big cousin's side, and then we'll see what's going to happen. Now, to be fair to Roman Reigns, he did face off against Bronson Reed, and they had a big old fight. Okay. But this could lead to Roman Reigns after he recovers, if he is done with filming, because I think they're going to start filming Street Fighter soon, because that could be their way of writing him off TV, but they need him for WrestlePalooza. So I think he's going to be there. I don't think he's not going to show up at WrestlePalooza. I think he's going to be there. They could have him going up against Braun Breaker at WrestlePalooza. If that is the case, then so be it. We move forward. I should have been watching Girls Next Door at my single digit age. You shouldn't have been. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. But we all was watching shit we weren't supposed to watch at our younger age. Yeah, I don't like horror either. But there's some horror I can take. Yeah. Like slasher movies, I'm not too afraid of. So Scream is probably one of my favorite slasher films. I watch it all the time. I don't like the second and third installments. I only like the first one. It is my favorite because it's nostalgic. It was so well done. That's the one that I love. That's the one I stick to, and that's the only one I care about. The reboots, I'm glad that they're great. A lot of people enjoy them, but no. The first one is always the greatest, and it always will be, and I'm never straying away from that. And I like American Horror Story Coven. I like that. That's also a very cool show to watch. It has some dark moments, but it's not too bad. It's some of it's hard to stomach. I will say that some of the things you hear and some of the things that you see, but it's still a good show. It's a really, really good show. Not really. They was just always doing stuff. Okay. So it wasn't nothing with Hugh. It's just nice you can turn your brain off. Okay. Fair. It's kind of like Paris Hilton with Nicole Richie. Was it kind of like that? I could see WWE doing LA Knight versus Seth Rollins for Royal Rumble program and Elimination Chamber before Seth faces Sammy at WrestleMania 42. What makes you think he's going to go up against Sammy at WrestleMania 42? I don't think he's going up against Sammy. I honestly think that he's going to go back up against CM Punk at WrestleMania 42, and CM Punk's going to win. I don't think he's going up against Sammy at all. But I was too young to watch the good reality TV shows during that time, but I didn't care. It was good. I used to be scared of Chucky when I was a kid. Well, the old school Chucky was scary. Yeah, you see him a lot, but he's not a focus. Okay, that's fine. He's a background character, basically. No, there wasn't like simple life stuff. Like he walked in the frame when they went to the house, but they had their own places. Oh, interesting. I see Sammy winning the Rumble. Okay. I don't I don't see Sammy winning the Rumble this year. But if I had to choose, I mean, if he does Switchblade, I'll always be like, kudos to you. You called that shit. But I just don't see him winning. No shade. I just don't see him winning. But if I had to choose, I'll probably go with Freddie versus Jason. Mm. We also had Bad Girls Club. DeAndre, you are right. Bad Girls Club was messy. Bad Girls Club wasn't what it ended up turning into. It was meant to be rehabilitation. Like the girls was there getting counseling and they got jobs and they were supposed to be, kind of like real world, with therapy and kind of helping to reform these bad girls. but they ended up changing it midway to just letting the girls pretty much fight and be party girls on TV because that's what everybody enjoyed. But I kind of like the mix of the two. It was popular the first way. I don't know why they shifted to the fighting and shit. It just was stupid. 2 plus 2 is still 4, right? I'm not answering that. It's too early. We just had a rumble. I mean, he's entitled to believe whatever, or they are. I don't mean to misgender you. They're entitled to believe whatever they want. Personally, I don't think that Sammy's gonna win. I think that there's another direction they're going with when it comes to Sammy, and he just won the U.S. title. And Royal Rumble is like, where are we? We're getting ready to be in September by Monday. September, October, November, December, January. 5 months away from now. I think that there's some time that we can, chill out, Ooh, see the Chucky. I don't know. I don't know. But old girl threw the bed in the pool, Lord. I hated Natalie on that show. That big chin colorist bitch used to get on my nerves. Now all of a sudden she want to embrace the fact that she black. She is a weird bitch. I don't like that hoe. I don't get no sleep because of y'all, and y'all ain't get no sleep because of me. That was definitely a Bad Girls Club quote. But yes, there are some things heading into from Clash in Paris that are definitely going to be popping up on Monday Night Raw. But we're going to see some fallout probably with Io Sky and the girls, and maybe we'll get some more insight into what's going on with Bailey. And now that Lyra's ass is involved because she done asked Pierce to figure out what's going on. But I was like, girl, you probably part of the cause of it. Okay? All the shit you put that lady through with the way you've been disrespecting her. You lucky she on split screen on your stupid ass. Ugh. Lyra get on my nerves. But anyways, Monday Night Raw is sure to be very, very interesting. If you missed Clash in Paris, I will tell you which matches I do think that you should pay attention to or rewatch. If you want to watch something that's a full-on slugfest and it's just two men fighting and having a good time, then the Donnybrook match is going to be more your speed. If you want to watch a storyline-based match, something that feels like it's leading to other things, obviously you would need to watch Roman Reigns' match with Bronson Reed, and you definitely need to watch the main event with the Fatal 4-Way. Those are the two matches that have the storylines that are going to continue, obviously. If you just want to watch a fight between two women, and it actually be a good one, then you need to watch Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch's match. It's pretty good. Even though the finish was just in a roll-up, a linchpin, as they call it, it still was a good match for you to pick up. And if you want to watch the GOAT, the Never Seen 17, battle it out with Logan Paul, then this match obviously is going to be the one that you need to get into. Prepare yourself because this match is going to be a long one. It's a lot of kickouts of finishers, signatures, and all types of shit. And everybody's going to be frustrated. They're going to be angry. You're going to be like, when is it going to end? And when it finally does, you're going to be like, thank God. Congratulations. And if you want to see a match between the tag teams and you want to see some dissension and a minor storyline developing in it, then you should definitely look into the match with the Street Profits and the Wyatt Six. Okay, there you have it. That was Clash in Paris. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to finish out these comments and then I'm going to get out of here. The last WWE Tough Enough was hard to watch. I hated how the contestants knew that the fans voted to keep them safe, which was that Gator guy. I forgot his name. Didn't watch the last WWE Tough Enough. Wasn't a fan of Tough Enough because I didn't feel like they picked the people correctly on Tough Enough. I feel like they were so busy trying to toughen them up that they didn't really pay attention to who was a star and who wasn't. So I didn't care for WWE Tough Enough. And 90% of the time, the people that they actually chose or won WWE Tough Enough didn't make it. It was always the people that they ended up kicking off or like the runners up who would end up being on the shows. Like take Arian, she ended up, being kicked off by Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that bitch was on in WWE like the following year. She was there as a superstar. It's so stupid. And that's why I hated Tough Enough. And what are they going to do with Vancouver? Obviously, Stephanie Vancouver has a match at WrestlePalooza, if I recall, and they're supposed to be setting up some type of tournament to determine who she's going to face off against. At least that's what I think is going to happen. He better have a good solution for Stephanie. Just told you what I think is going to happen. And he definitely told Stephanie that she has a match for that title that isn't losing. Did y'all pay attention last Monday when he told her they wasn't going to be on the card for Paris, but their match, that she was going to have a match for that title? She already won the opportunity and she's going to have a title match. All y'all have to do is just wait. 5 months is plenty of time for Sammy to drop the U.S. title and then win the Rumble. Plus, Rumble 2026 is in Saudi, and Sammy looks like the best option to make the crown go over there away being happy. Doesn't mean that he's going to be the one just because they're going to be in Saudi. I'm not saying you're entirely wrong. I'm just saying that being definitive about a show that's 5 months away from now is a little crazy because you don't know what could happen in 5 months. Things change very quickly in the WWE. And I'm pretty sure if you watch WWE Unreal, Kevin Owens was supposed to be WWE champion, right? Like heading into last year as like when they were at Royal Rumble, I think they had their match between Cody and Kevin at Royal Rumble. Was it this year? I want to say it was this year. When they had that match, Kevin was supposed to win. Kevin was supposed to be champion for real. So a lot of things change. Things switch up and change. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I feel like your definitive thought process of Sami Zayn being the winner of the Royal Rumble is interesting to me. With, like I said, things can always change. Things always can change. Like there's no definitive anything when it comes to the WWE. Is it possible that Sami Zayn could win? Sure. I'd be happy for him if he did. But I don't think that he is going to win. I honestly think that W is more than likely going to go to CM Punk. And if I'm being honest, the better fight is with CM Punk, and he deserves to have that win at SummerSlam, at WrestleMania, especially after he lost that title the way that he did at SummerSlam. I'm not saying Sammy doesn't have time. He does have time to be champion. I'm just saying it might not be right now, and I think he understands that better than anybody. Okay. He said, "Give me a week. Tomorrow is 7 days. I can't." Side note: I start my PT personal training sessions tomorrow. I'm so excited because I haven't done it since June due to money issues. Okay. Good luck. Have a good time. It was this year. I thought so. I thought it was this year. That's what I'm saying. Like things change very, very quickly. So it's not that you're entirely wrong. You have a good theory, and that's very, very likely impossible. But it is also very predictable. And if we learn anything from WWE Unreal, predictability is not something that they're interested in all the time. Sometimes it's a good way to start something and then proceed forward. But they have a tendency to pivot from predictable outcomes, because if you watch WWE Unreal, the choice to win the Royal Rumble this year was CM Punk. But because Michael Hayes and a few others were like, hey, Jey Uso is really hot. Like, let's strap the rocket to him. Like, if he wins, this is going to send shockwaves through WWE fans. And they were right. Jey Uso won. He had a pretty damn good run as a champion before he ran back up against Gunther, which I thought was unnecessary. They literally gave Gunther the title just so he can go up against fucking Goldberg, which I feel like he could have had that match without that goddamn championship. Okay? They didn't need it. And then they wanted to give CM Punk this hard-hitting match, which I feel like he could have did that with Jey Uso as well. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like he could have did that with Jey Uso and it still would have hit the same. It would have had the same impact. You get what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying you're entirely wrong, and I'm not saying that your idea is stupid, because it's not. It makes very, very good sense. It's plausible. It's obvious that that is possible, but it is also very, very predictable. Simply because Sammy wins in Saudi majority of the time, to me, you need to pivot and do something else, because everybody's gonna be like, oh well, he's gonna win. Like you're gonna automatically assume he's gonna win. I don't think they're gonna do that. And lost 7 pounds so far. Well, good for you. I love that for you. Punk and Jay would have been better than Gunther. It's not that like Punk and Gunther didn't have a good match. They did. It was a good match. I'm just saying, like, I would have loved to see like what they would have done. Like CM Punk and Jey Uso were low key kind of cool with each other. So to see them be at odds like that and to like fight, it would have been very interesting to see, especially with the promos they would cut on each other. I would have been very interested to hear what they had to say. But say la vie. It is what it is. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'll let you guys stew a little bit on that. But like I said, overall, I think I gave the overall show an 8.5. It was somewhere in the 7 or 8 range. I think it's a solid show. It's worth a watch. Some matches I would recommend. Others I would say, you don't need it. But for the most part, it did a good job at telling stories. It did a good job at putting on great matches. So if that's what you want to see, then go back and watch Clash in Paris. I think it's rewatchable. It was a decent show. And I'm pretty sure the post show was fairly decent as well. Listen, I was out today with my family. We were at the Geneva on the lake park, and we were having a good time. I did post on my stories so you can kind of see my family on there. They were having a good time dancing and everything. It is pretty chilly by the lake today, babe. You remember?
Yeah.
It was like 69 degrees, and it was 50 in the shade where I was sitting at. It was freezing out there. So we had a good time though. We ate, they came home, we watched the show, they ate again. We had a really good time. So I was happy, everybody was happy. We were having a good time. So I hope you guys enjoyed my recap. I will be back on Monday to talk about everything that we saw on Monday Night Raw, of course. And any news that comes out, I will do my best to report it and post it on shorts. I need you guys to understand that in September, probably after, I want to say Monday. Let me see. I want to say after Monday, September 8th, that is when they're going to start having the shows start at 7 o'clock instead of 8. So remember that, because for 3 weeks, they're going to be coming in at 7 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock, so they don't interfere with Monday Night Football. Also, heading into October or November, one of those shows in that month is going to be, it's October, the Perth show. It's going to be early in the morning at 8 a.m. It's going to be early. Friday Night SmackDown is going to be at 8 a.m. Is it SmackDown or Raw? It's Raw. Monday Night Raw is going to be on at 8 a.m. on Netflix. Okay? It's not SmackDown. It's Raw. SmackDown is going to come on at regular time, so be warned that you guys are going to get spoilers when they head to Perth, because it's just inevitable, babes. There's really nothing you can do about it. So do your damnedest to avoid the spoilers. I did, and I still got it spoiled for me when I watched Friday Night SmackDown. I knew Sammy was going to win the championship because Wrestling News Co. posted this big ass picture of Sami Zayn with the title, like literally at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They had it posted, and I was like, okay, Jesus, like I didn't get a chance to watch it. Fucking losers. But anyways, that's what I wanted to tell you. October for Monday Night Raw, you are going to get your Raw. It's going to come on at 8 a.m. because they're going to be in Australia. That's like a whole nother day ahead or behind. I don't remember. I think it's a day ahead. But anyways, Monday Night Raw in October for Perth is going to be at 8 a.m. This month in September for Monday Night Raw from the 14th to the 28th, I believe. All of those, the 15th to the 29th. The 15th to the 29th, those are Mondays. All of those Monday Night Raws are going to start at 7 instead of at 8. Okay. So just remember that, and then you'll be fine. I'll make sure to remind you guys because it is happening. But yeah, that's exactly what I meant. It would have been fresh, right? What was up with all those people with the orange hair? I don't know, DeAndre. So DeAndre saw my stories, right? And my husband and I, we were leaving because my sister had to go get gas. Just to tell y'all a quick story before I get out of here. She had to go get gas. So we found a gas station in Geneva and we were going down the street and there was a bunch of people with just orange wigs on. And they were waving at all the cars. So it seemed like it was a big thing. Okay. And we were just like, what the fuck? And my husband was like, babe, look out the window. And I'm looking, I'm like, what is this? Wow. I had to slow the video down because I got a really quick video. It was nuts, DeAndre. I don't know. I don't live in Geneva, so I don't know what's going on there. I know that they have like a lot of festivals. Like they have a great festival that's getting ready to start. Like, isn't it supposed to start this month?
End of the month.
Yeah, at the end of the month. They're supposed to have a great festival. Geneva on the Lake has miniature golf. It's got zip lining. There's a whole street with just nothing but like food and a candy shop and goodies. You can get pizza out there, homemade pizza. You can get funnel cakes. You can get gyros. You can get all kind of stuff at Geneva. It's like a mini amusement park without the rides. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a homely version of that. It's got bars. It's got live bands. It's got all kind of shit out there. This is an idea I thought when Gunther returns, have him immediately pair up with Ludwig and run up on Seth in the Vision. Gunther versus Seth would be a fascinating storyline, in my opinion. Sure. I mean, he did tell Gunther that he would take that title, and he did. So, I mean, to be fair, Gunther would have a bone to pick with him, so I don't care. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, the rhetoric is going to be the same when it comes from Gunther, no matter who he goes up against. And Ludwig seems to be doing pretty well on his own as El Grande Americano. I mean, he's turned it into something that's actually watchable and not so racist. So I'm fine with Ludwig being El Grande Americano. I really am. They got it. I ain't doing 8 a.m. for Raw. Babe, you can always watch it on the replay. Honestly, you do not have to get up at 8 o'clock. That replay is up there immediately afterwards, which is the best thing that Netflix does. You don't have to watch it live, but if you want to watch it and not get the spoilers later, I say get up and watch it. It's totally up to you, though. SmackDown will be on regular time in the US unless people want to use a VPN on Netflix to watch all WWE programming. Okay. I have class in the morning at that time. Well, y'all can watch it later. Like I told y'all, Netflix allows for you to watch it later. You don't have to watch it immediately when it comes on. It's totally up to you. All right, y'all. I'm going to get my ass up out of here. I hope y'all enjoyed the recap. I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you share. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. It's imperative that you do that. It helps my channel grow. Okay, I finally got my first payout for the channel. Y'all, finally got my first payout for the channel, my first $100. And I did nothing but used it to pay for stuff for the channel. I re-upped on my Riverside and I paid for StreamYard so that I can utilize all of my stuff the way that I should. And it didn't have to come out of my own pocket. Now I'm starting over at the beginning with my ad revenue to pay for my StreamYard and everything. So if you want to donate to the channel to help me pay for this so I can keep this stuff going, please do. Everything is scrolling at the bottom. I only have Cash App at the moment, and that's the only thing I like to use. So if you would like to buy me a coffee or donate to the channel, you definitely can. Okay, I do like Zunkin. Okay, and a coffee is only like $6. It's nothing. Okay, $6. Any little bit will help to run the channel until my channel is self-sufficient, and then I won't be asking y'all to do nothing. Make sure y'all share my channel or my videos. Make sure you tell everybody to subscribe, okay? And make sure you're subscribed. Don't be listening and don't subscribe. That's rude, okay? And interact. Comment in the comment section below what you thought about Clash in Paris. If you like the show, what rating did you give it? What did you think it should have been, or how should it have been? Let me know in the comments. I like having conversation with you guys in the comments. It's fun. Also, if you've been paying attention to my community tab, then you know that we're getting ready to start a new series over here on the channel called Wrestle Eats. It is coming. First episode is going to be filmed sometime this month, and I'll let you guys know when it is out, okay? It's going to be a two-parter because we got a lot we're going to be filming. And I just want to make sure I get all my content out and you guys have a good time watching it. I don't want it to be super long, okay? Members will get the opportunity to watch the video first. Tell me what I need to change, what I need to fix. And I will do that in the second video that we record and all that good stuff, okay? So let me finish out these comments and then I'm going to be out of here. Hey, Brandy. Thank you. Thank you. Period, Duncan. Is it 8 a.m. Eastern? Yes. Yes. It's 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In October, let me repeat. In October, you are going to get not Clash in Paris, but you'll get Crown Jewel Perth. Okay. They're supposed to do Crown Jewel Friday. They're supposed to do Friday night SmackDown from Perth. They're also supposed to do Monday Night Raw from Perth. And on October 13th, it's going to be at 8 a.m. because they're going to be in Australia. Now, I don't know what time Crown Jewel is going to come on, but if Raw is going to be on at 8 a.m., I suspect that Crown Jewel is going to be on that early as well. Okay? But I will wait. We'll wait and do some fact checking and just hold off because we got about a month before that happens. So let's just wait before everybody starts to panic. All right. So before we go, we got Crown Jewel Perth happening in October. Okay. And we have a lot of stuff happening in September. This month we've got WrestlePalooza. Okay. We have All Out in Toronto. We have NXT in Full Sail. We have NXT Halloween Havoc on the 25th of October. We got Bountiful Glory in October. Survivor Series is in November. Then we have No Mercy in the September as well. And then finally, we have Crown Jewel Perth in October. And that's going to round out the wrestling PLEs for the next 3 months. So we're going to be cooking for wrestling shows, okay? No problem, Switchblade. I got you. Not going to lie, that time it works for me since my work starts at 9:30 Central Standard Time. So it works better for me. Hey, sometimes it works out that way, okay? So watch it, enjoy it if you can. At least you'll be ahead of the curve of what happened at Monday Night Raw Perth. Thank you. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll talk some more tomorrow and, we'll chit chat like we always do. I appreciate you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. Check out our merch and consider becoming a member for exclusive perks, special emojis, and members-only content.